This is for the fathers around the globe. We love you more than you'll ever know. For the strength you gave me, you're truly amazing. Happy Father's Day. Place you on the highest pedestal. We love you more than you'll ever know. You chose to man up, you chose to stand up. Happy Father's Day. From my first breath to my first steps, Pops, you took me under your wing. So I'm under a king, which means I was destined to achieve anything, realize any dream, success.
Hello anglers, this is Anglers 48 and welcome to the Anglers 48 show. Thank you for joining us on this episode. We're going to be talking about another fishing spot, and this fishing spot, guys, I'm going to be taking you to Arroyo City, right? Many people know of Port Mansfield. They know of places over there at the island, Port Isabel, but have not ventured to Arroyo City. In the times that I've been to Arroyo City, I have seen very, very little kayakers. I have seen some, that have ventured all the way to the bay, and I've seen most of them with the pedal kayak. I've seen a couple with the paddle kayak. And fishing at Arroyo City, it's a very neat place to go. You have a very narrow channel. You got some depth, around 14 feet, right in the middle of the channel. Sometimes it is recommended that you check the weather before you go, because there are currents that are running, and it may prove to be a challenge to maneuver, right? When I go out there, obviously, right, I take my trolling motor, and I get there with ease. But I did try. One time I tried maneuvering around with the paddle, and it was a challenge. And again, it's due to those currents. When you get to Arroyo City, you're gonna run into the park called Adolph Tomei Jr. County Park. It's a beautiful park, perfect for the family. There's 2 fishing piers accessible. There's also RV spots, right, for those who want to take an RV. I'm not sure if they're allowing people to camp out there. They used to in the past, but I have seen some signs that say no camping as far as setting up tents and stuff. They do have areas where you can fish from the bank, some good areas, and you can actually camp out. They don't allow any ground fires, unfortunately, but that's a very good family type atmosphere. The type of fishing that I do, I go into the park. Once again, it's called Adolph Tomei Jr. County Park. Very good park. They charge $10 to go in, and it's there's usually somebody there letting you in. They used to have the gate, right? I would go pretty early in the morning, and sometimes they wouldn't they wouldn't have anybody manning the little office there, so you would have to take the correct change to get in there. If you got there without, because it's $10 and it only takes fives, it doesn't take a $10 bill, it doesn't take credit cards. So yeah, but lately, like I said, they've had somebody there manning the gate. There's 2 boat ramps, very accessible boat ramps. Now for kayaking, I have personally never used the boat ramp simply because of the traffic. You always have traffic. You always have boaters going and coming, launching and recovering and all that. So when I would launch my my kayak, and I'm gonna put a picture of the there's this parking area, and that is where I would launch my kayak. I would park close to the channel, and you could take your time unloading and then loading back up. You don't have to drag the kayak too far. Very accessible. Some people, they've been launching their kayaks at the beginning part of the town, right? So they can only fish the channel, right? If you launch inside the park, you have a better chance, excuse me, of accessing the channel and going all the way to the bay. Because from where I'm launching my kayak there at the parking lot, it's about 3.5 miles, right? So it takes about an hour on the kayak to get over there. If you're pedaling, it may take you a little less, because pedal kayaks, they travel faster than a trolling motor. Trolling motor, you're looking at about 2 mile, 3 mile an hour. That's the speed that it'll go. Normally, when I go, I'm having batteries and all kinds of gear, so I don't go. Kayak won't go too fast, with the trolling motor. So that's where I launch, right there in that parking lot. And there's a couple of some nice fishing spots. As I'm heading east, right? I'm trying to stay as close to the shore as possible. Sometimes we get a little sidetracked and we find ourselves in the middle of the channel. That's not the best practice. Got Tony, who flipped his kayak in the middle of the channel on one of our visits over there. So gotta stay to the shore, close to the shore. You're gonna find an inlet, right? You're gonna find an inlet, and this inlet, this is where we get our mullet. When you go on your boat, you're gonna see a lot of boaters in this little inlet, in this little cut, and we're casting the net and stuff like that, and getting mullet. Now, for the kayakers, you want to get your mullet around the docking area, the launching area. Okay. Cast your net there if you're gonna fish for mullet. The further you go down the arroyo, the less of a chance you're gonna be able to get mullet with a cast net, right? Normally, when I'm gonna be venturing off, I cast my net right there. I make a couple of stops. After the second pier, after the last boat ramp, there's 2 of them. After the last boat ramp, if it's gonna be where I'm just gonna be utilizing mullet, I cast my net there. There's a whole lot of mullet right there. You pass that inlet that you're looking at, and I go maybe about 2 blocks after the inlet, and I exit the kayak. I get off the kayak, right? I tie the kayak to my waist, and I start walking the shore, and I'm casting, right? Casting the lines. Normally, when I hit arroyo, I want to take live shrimp. If I don't take live shrimp, then artificial. You want to take some gulp. That's the next best thing, gulp. And you're going to be casting out right, towards the middle of the channel, and you're bringing it in, and you're bringing it in, and until and you're walking east, you're walking along the bank, casting your line, dragging, toting your kayak until you hit the spot. All of a sudden, you start getting into the trout. You're working it. Like, let's say, all of a sudden, you get your limit of trout, right? If you want to continue along the bank casting, that's up to you. Now, further down, there's going to be another inlet. Before that inlet, right, maybe about 2 blocks before the inlet, you're going to start seeing the mangroves, right? You're going to see the mangroves. Once you start seeing those mangroves, if the tide is high enough where it's covering the roots, you can start working that area for reds, sheepshead, snook, and mangrove snapper. Okay. If the tide is very low, obviously, you may get some reds. I'm not sure about the other species, but this is the area where I've gotten the Texas slam, where the mangroves are. And there's mangroves for a good while. You know, some people, they go in the inlet and they're working their lure or their popping cork with live shrimp. There you have the possibility of getting all the species there are. Can your vessel make it through there? That's the problem. If you have a high tide, there's a chance you can get there. If it's a low tide and you have a pedal drive, you know, the drive may end up hitting the bottom. The motor, trolling motor, may end up hitting the bottom if it's low tide. Okay? So, and then there's like a Y, right? There's a split. I have not gone past the split. That's as far as I've gone. Because I've gone by myself. I don't want to risk going all the way over there. So these areas where the mangroves are, this is your possibility of getting the different species. Now, if you want to do some bay fishing, right? You're going to continue going east along the channel, right? And from the launch area to the bay, it's called the Y. It's about 3.5 miles, right? 3.6, 3.5 miles. Once you get to the bay, then your chances of getting something good, doing some good fishing, improve because you have the bay, right? And the sides of the Y, you're looking at about maybe knee, depending how far into the water you go. But you know, start getting into some good fishing there. Me and Tony, we've gone all the way to the Y on his boat, on the kayak. We've done an overnight fishing trip, and you know, I mean, if I can get there, you guys can get there. So 3.5 miles, right? On the little motor takes about an hour, right? More or less an hour. So what I would do is I would get there in the dark, get the bait, and then start venturing. Halfway through the trip, it's already sunrise. So I get there and start fishing. You got to take plenty of equipment. You don't want to forget anything. You got to check the weather. And obviously, I would be putting up here the Y, right? And you start noticing the opening in that little island that's right there. That's Bird Island. A lot of people have had success around Bird Island. And then you're going to be looking around and you're going to start seeing different islands to the north, some islands to the south, and other islands further east. Just being prepared, that's the key. You got to take your bait, you got to take your supplies, drinks, whatever you need, and you're going to have a blast in Arroyo City. Knowing that the weather is really nice. There's more mangroves on the south side of the channel. If mangroves is something you love to work, there's a lot of mangroves. Obviously, you want the tide to be kind of high to be able to have those fish get close. If the tide is very low, then those fish are not going to be there by the roots. But this is once again Arroyo City. I've been seeing once again those social media platforms on Facebook. People have been doing really well. They've been catching fish at Arroyo City. The bait shop, it's usually, there's several bait shops. The one that I go to is it just says bait shop, all right? And this gentleman, he usually opens about 5 in the morning. The gate doesn't open until 5:30, 6, right? 6 o'clock in the morning. So I would get there, be one of the first ones, and obviously, I'll call, make sure that there's gonna be live shrimp, because live shrimp, that's the key. So, but yeah. And when will I go to Arroyo City? Hopefully during spring break, if we can. Once again, I'm just having too much fun with the kayak, and but I just wanted to bring you a little bit of information regarding Arroyo City, specifically to those kayakers who have not been able to experience it. And what I love about Arroyo City, it's a bay. That's where a lot of the fish are. So maybe you guys can get out there and find a new fishing spot, and that's gonna be your new spot. Well, I'll leave you with that, guys. If you have any comments, please put them down. I would like to, hear some of your comments. Maybe you are some of the ones that do go, and tell me about what has been working for you, and yeah. Until next time, guys, from far Texas on the Anglers 48 show. Anglers 48 signing off. Thanks for watching.